Yousei is recommended for individuals 13 and up for depictions of crime scenes and blood. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, RavenSylphe here. So, with another episode of Yousei. So, last time we experienced the rather heartbreaking Lee Mei end. I did not think it was going to be like that. Oh my god. I also discovered by doing the other endings, I got some small things to put into the game, like little extras. We'll see them while I'm doing this one. There's an end called the Twins End, where basically I just got to build up friendship with the twins and achieve eye-level trust with Jupiter. So, we'll see what happens. Let's get started. Okay, quickly before I go any farther. Look at the charm! It's so cute! Anyways.
Good morning, Kangai.
Oh, I also to point out, with one of the, with the previous ending, I got the option to put glasses on Lee Mei, and it is adorable! Look at her! She's so adorable! Sure, why not? We should all wear glasses! Yes! So it'll be a party.
Is there any reason you're taking all these pictures?
Aaron inspects his camera for a brief moment as if he hadn't even noticed he was holding it.
'Cause I like it?
Now Naoki looks like wants to say something else, but he remains silent. Maybe I should stop it. Try to ask Aaron to stop. Could you not take quite so many? I'm kind of uncomfortable with it. Aaron sticks his tongue out at me.
You'll get used to it eventually. Everyone does.
Just try to take fewer, if you can.
No promises, but I'll see what I can do.
Naoki smiles gratefully at me and nods his head once. Well, that's all our stuff unpacked. What next?
Got him!
That sounds ominous. Real football pulls at my arm and I grudgingly stand.
Good job, David. Take him to the lab upstairs.
The lab? Guess I'm in a horror film after all. Great. I'd rather not be killed in a creepy lab, though. Hang on! I think you've got the wrong guy here!
No, I'm pretty sure you're the guy. Or did you think we wouldn't notice that someone broke in and stole our research?
Real football, David, apparently, tightens his grip on my arm. It's more constricting than I'd like. I think he works out. He gets regular exercise, at least. Wait, what? No, you definitely have the wrong guy.
That remains to be seen.
David gives me a tug, and I follow. It'll be easier to explain I'm innocent if I don't run. I just hope Aki's nearby. I could really use a bailout.
David, Nathan, take him in.
David escorts me down the hall, and the other two follow closely behind.
It is too bad. Thankfully for us, we caught him on film.
She pulls out a printout with a slim folder and slides it across the table towards me. The moment I see it, my heart sinks. No wonder this place looks familiar. On the table sits a grainy image I've seen before. The last time I saw it, we were digging through Mr. Auden's secret files after he died. He had a video file of me walking down a hallway. I don't remember ever being in such a place. At the time, we assumed it was old footage from before I came to Edgewater. We didn't know why he had it, but it didn't seem too relevant. Apparently, it was. I look up at see Jupiter studying my face.
So you recognize it?
Well, yeah, he looks like me. She shakes her head.
I mean, you've seen this exact image before. Where?
I can't exactly tell her I stole it from Mr. Auden's house after his death, can I? Well, it was in Mr. Auden's files. I went to his house for something.
Something.
She sounds incredulous. I can't really blame her.
William Alton, may he rest in peace, doesn't just invite people over to his place for a cup of coffee.
Well, I wasn't there for coffee. She leans in and lowers her voice.
And what were you there for?
That's classified. I try not to sound too smug, but it feels kind of nice to not be on the receiving end of the classified runaround for once. Jupiter presses on, undeterred.
Who are you?
That's also classified, but I can tell you who I'm not. I tap the photo on the table with my hand. I'm not him.
I don't have time for this.
She isn't buying a word I'm saying.
How's this? I won't press charges if you tell me who hired you to steal that. Was it Western State?
Who? Aaron and Naoki leave, and the room again settles into yet another uncomfortable silence. That seems to be the theme of the day. Now might be a good time to try and convince Jupiter I'm innocent. What should I tell her? I'm really sorry about all the confusion. If there's anything I can do...
No, not really.
But...
Listen, there's a lot going on right now. Even if you're not the thief, the research has still been stolen. And since I'm the one who has to do damage control, I don't have time for anything else.
Hey, did you miss me?
Aki pokes her head into the room and flashes me a teasing grin. I'm not sure how to answer that. Must be rough taking care of the lab, especially after what happened to Dr. Johansson. Her eyes darken.
What are you talking about? Did something happen to him?
Whoa, she doesn't know? No doubt the police want to keep her under arrest, but she worked with him. Why didn't they tell her about it? What am I going to do now? I'm sorry, but he died.
What? You're kidding, right?
Not really. I'm sorry. Wow, that was probably the worst way to inform someone of a death ever.
What happened? Was it here?
Yeah, Aaron and Kizaki were the ones who found the body.
First his old research is stolen, and now this.
Jupiter begins to absentmindedly chew on her nail. What? What are you talking about?
I can't be sure, but...
She stands abruptly.
I'm sorry, but I have a lot of work to do. Can you both leave now?
Lime casts a final longing glance at the rabbit before following me out of the lab. I saw a butterfly. She's so cute! Hey.
Hey, Kangai. Looking for something?
Yeah, you actually.
Mission accomplished. Can I help you with something?
Just wanted to talk.
About?
Dr. Johansson. Juniper leans and folds her arms.
About his death, you mean? Did you see the body?
I nod.
How was it? How did he die?
It looked like he was killed on purpose.
Murder?
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, it could have been an accident.
Not likely. He was a careful man and had no reason to be in the bell tower in the first place. This all seems very deliberate. I'm inclined to agree with your assessment.
She sighs and crosses her arms across her chest.
This is bad.
How so? She raises an eyebrow at me.
Because a great man just passed away in a tragic way?
Oh, yeah. Way to go, man! As if you could make it any more obvious that this is normal for you. She probably thinks I'm just some kind of sociopath now.
What about Eren? How is he doing?
Not so well.
I should probably visit him sometime to see how he's doing.
He didn't look very happy when I last saw him. I think he just wants to sleep for a bit. She nods sympathetically.
He deserves some rest.
Do you know why someone would want Dr. Johansson dead?
So, you really don't think it was an accident then? Honestly, I don't know what to think. It's entirely possible that this was an accident. Maybe a heart attack? His heart is still experimental after all.
He had a fake heart?
Partially. It was built from a reproduction of his own tissue, but some parts were manufactured.
Wasn't Otten Engineering working on something like that?
They're the ones funding most of our research. William Otten donated a lot of money to this school. I think he cared a lot for his alma mater. The heart was still in testing stages, but Dr. Johansson's heart was in such a bad state, he decided to take the risk. As strange as the circumstances of his death are, I'm hard-pressed to think of anyone who would want to kill him.
Where were you yesterday morning between 10 and 11?
Here at the lab. Why?
Just curious.
And by curious you mean I'm a suspect.
Everyone is.
That's fair. Random killings are more unlikely after all.
Yeah.
Well, I got here around 9. I was the only one here at the time. I always check the labs to make sure everything is in order before I start working.
Is there any way you can prove this?
Sure. I logged in using my student ID.
Besides, I have to go talk to Jupiter.
Oh? We'll go with you.
What? Are you sure?
Why not? We're a team, right? Besides, Naoki's good at detecting lies. It might be useful. We can talk to David later.
Fine, I guess it couldn't hurt. Let's make this quick.
If you say so. Race you.
Aki drops into a flat-out run before I can process her challenge.
Again?
Aki takes chase, and I begrudgingly follow. The twins outdistance me easily, and I force myself to keep running. As soon as Aki reaches the door, she turns around and waves her card at me,
Keep
teasing
up,
me.
Kangai.
And Aki leaps past her and wastes his card at the reader. He grabs the handle and throws the door open. Aki punches him playfully, and he returns the gesture. I take the moment, put on extra burst of speed, racing through the door past the two of them. Nice try. I taunt over my shoulder as I speed up down towards the lab. Jumps at the three of us pile into the lab, half out of breath.
Hey, what's going on?
Aki tries to lean casually against the counter, but the effect is marred by her gasps for air.
Oh, nothing. We just felt like running.
No, you just felt like running. I was all for walking.
Tell me you didn't have fun.
I deny all allegations.
That still doesn't explain what's going on.
We had something we wanted to ask. Con?
Oh, right. Have you ever used Nathan's ID card to log in?
You mean that childish game they play, swapping cards with each other? No, I do not partake in it.
I notice the twins exchanging glances with each other, so you know about their system.
They think they can, how is it said, defeat the system. I know they do not always arrive on time, but it is wiser to let them believe they are winning. Otherwise, they may devise a trick even harder to keep track of.
That makes sense. And I don't suppose you come here to work late.
Of course I work late, you know that.
How late?
Maybe 10 or 11? Why do you want to know?
Someone's been logging in every other week late. Like after midnight late.
Yes, Nathan. I brought that to Dr. Johansson's attention. Is that what this is about?
We're not sure, but we think the person was selling off information, maybe to Western.
I find that difficult to believe.
Then maybe it's something else. Did Dr. Johansson have anything else he was working on?
Oh, that was just a hypothesis more than anything else. It wasn't a real project.
Mind telling us what it was anyway? We're curious.
Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt. Throughout history, there's been mention of people with extra-human abilities. I'm sure you've heard the stories. Heroes of legend and lines of royals said to have divine powers. Dr. Johansson's hypothesis is this, that such people did exist, but their bloodlines eventually thinned out and their powers diminished. However, if we could find a sample of the genetic makeup of those extra-humans, we could recreate those abilities today.
You wanted to make magic people? Doesn't sound scientific.
Too often, we think that the scientific advances of today give us reason to ignore ancient observation. But the people of old still charted the stars and built pyramids. They possess the ability to observe and record just as we do. We cannot dismiss the account of superhuman feats recorded across centuries and continents. Instead, we should seek to find the cause of these. Can we recreate or observe them ourselves? He doesn't believe in people with special powers. He believes it is a possibility that must be explored. Is it not scientific to attempt to observe what others have rather than dismiss them without testing?
Jupiter shrugs.
Of course, even this is little more than speculation. We don't have enough information to try to recreate anything.
Jupiter leans over her laptop and clicks through a few folders.
He has some old notes on it if you're interested. They're from his private collection, but it should be fine.
Before any of us can respond, the door bursts open and Detective Gursky tries in. He looks
That's enough.
angry.
What? I'm sorry, officer. I didn't mean to do anything wrong.
What are you doing here?
Wondering the same of you. I thought I told you to talk to David.
We were going to. We just wanted to help Con out.
We may have found a lead. Dr. Johansson has had another project he was working on.
Just because the guy's dead doesn't mean you can poke around in his stuff.
There's no harm in it. He always wanted his work made public when he passed away. He hoped that someone else would be able to pick it up where he left off.
So it's fine.
You're not even supposed to be here!
Gursky turns and forcefully hurls us towards the hallway.
I'm taking you off this case.
Why?
Because you're not listening to me. I cut you guys a lot of slack, but you can't just do whatever you feel like. You're clearly not taking your work seriously, and I'm sending you back home right now.
Gursky motions for Jupiter to leave.
Everyone out. That includes you.
But I have work to do.
And I'm declaring this a crime scene.
He didn't die here.
But some of his work is here, and you've already said it might be evidence. It was a mistake for me to let it get this far.
Detective Gursky turns to Jupiter.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to lock down the building.
I can do that, but do you really think this is necessary?
I'm not taking any risks.
Jupiter leads us to the front door, pausing to flip a tiny switch on the door's frame before she exits.
Thank you, Miss Celadon. I'm sorry to take you from your work like this, but I promise it won't be long. As for the rest of you, go home.
But
No arguments. Get Lee May and go straight back to the apartment.
Aki glares at him.
I'll tell Schultz about this.
I don't care. Just go home.
Fine! Good luck solving this on your own.
Aki stalks off. Naoki follows right after her. With a final confusing glance over my shoulder, I follow suit. I can feel Detective Gursky's angry gaze boring into my back as we leave. Doesn't look angry, but okay. As we near the main road, Aki slows to a halt.
I want to go back.
Are you kidding? Gursky's gonna be waiting right there.
Then we sneak in through the side.
Isn't the door locked?
Then we find a way around it.
Oh yeah, like what?
Like her.
Aki casually points over my shoulder. I turn to see Lee May.
That was quick. We need to get inside. Think you can handle it?
Lee May scans the building and nods once. Aki
I
grins.
knew we could count on you.
We follow Lee May to the side of the biology building. Why are we here? Lee May points at the fire escape. What, really?
It's a good choice. The fire escape isn't locked by the security system because it needs to be opened no matter what the circumstances are.
Lee May sizes up the ladder on the side of the building. It looks like the ladder's rusted in place. With a graceful leap, Lee May grabs the bottom rung of the ladder and pulls on it. It groans for a brief second before sliding down with an unhappy squeal. Whoa! Lee May climbs the ladder swiftly and pauses in front of the door. But it's still got a lock of some sort, doesn't it?
Sure, there's a manual one, but it shouldn't be a problem.
Really? Lee May curls her fingers into the space between the door and the frame and gives the door a sharp tug. The door swings open suddenly with the sound of a harsh metallic snap. Nobody is hearing this? Is there something you guys aren't telling me?
Probably.
Aki nods to Lee May.
See you at the back door.
Lee May nods and slips into the building silently. Why don't we just go up the fire escape? What
She
just
opened the
happened?
door, obviously. Let's go.
I follow Aki and Naoki to the lab's back door. Aki glances around quickly before affecting a casual pose. She turns to me and frowns.
Don't look so suspicious.
We're kind of breaking in after Gursky told us not to.
He's our handler, not our boss. Besides, aren't you even a little bit curious about what all the secrecy has been about?
Well,
I have to admit, it is rather suspicious. He's stopping us from doing our job.
I don't want to admit it. He's right. But Gursky's attitude during this case has me on edge, too. The door swings open and Lee May pokes her head out.
Good work.
Aki grabs the door handle and swings it open with a flourish.
Alright, let's move fast. It won't take long for Miko to notice we're here.
Well, with the noise you guys have been making, the four of us hurry to the lab and Aki grabs the laptop sitting on the counter.
Bingo, she's still logged in.
Isn't that a security risk?
There's so many locks on the outside, sometimes people get complacent about locking up what's inside.
She grins.
Especially if I distract them on the way out.
You were planning to look at these files all this time?
I didn't know if I'd get the chance, but I figured it couldn't hurt to prepare for the option.
Sometimes you scare me.
I know.
Aki scrolls through the files quickly, looking for something that might catch her eye.
See anything?
Wait, there!
What?
I point to one of the folders. That one called Dragon's Blood. It's the only old project listed under Johansson's name. Aki double-clicked on the file. A list of files flashed onto the screen. The four of us crowd around the computer as Aki opens the first
A
file.
project designed to unlock latent potential?
That's what Dr. Johansson was talking about.
Looks like it was more than a hypothesis. He didn't tell Jupiter the whole story. He's got dated records of the Dragon Emperor of China granting psychic abilities to others as a reward. It involved some sort of blood transfer, but the powers were unreliable. No two people would develop the same ability.
If they still had his blood today, imagine what they could do with it.
I think that's exactly what they were aiming for.
Naoki's eyes dart back and forth across the screen. You're trying to replicate dragon's blood?
I've seen these before.
Where?
The card that Kangai took from Mr. Otten's house had the same formulas, although Mr. Otten had more on his.
But that proves this was Otten's project. We found it!
It was more than talk. They actually tried to do it.
Did they ever manage to recreate this dragon's blood?
Doesn't look like it, but
Naoki catches his breath and his hand falls limp. What's
they were
wrong?
looking into alternative solutions. Namely, altering people to produce children with dragon's blood.
Synthetic didn't work, so they looked for a way to make it natural.
The first study was a failure. Of the 20 men they worked with, none had children who exhibited any traits of dragon's blood. Most of them passed away years later, all from causes eventually linked to the study. But in those years, they tried again. With women.
Naoki swallows and shakes his head. The women they experimented on lost their ability to bear children completely.
How did you know?
Marissa was researching it when we met. She said one of the women...
What are you doing in here?
Detective Gursky stands in the doorway. I can't tell if he's angry or scared. He strides across the room and reaches for Aki's shoulder.
I told you that you're off the case.
Aki pulls away from him.
But we found Johansen's old research. This could be the key we need to find the killer.
It's not important anymore. Naoki, close the computer and leave now.
Detective Gursky's voice is laced with anger. He's definitely not in the mood to debate, and Naoki sits frozen at the computer.
Chie.
Naoki's voice is barely a whisper. He breathes in slow, and his chest shudders.
Chie Mizutani.
Aki spins around to face her brother.
Mom?
Naoki bows his head and buries his face in his hands. Aki rushes the computer and her gaze darts across the screen.
One success. Subject Chie Mizutani died during childbirth, but left 2 children. Both exhibit potential for dragon's blood.
Aki's face hardens and her eyes turn dark.
Success?
Her voice shakes and I see her slowly clench and unclench her fists. Aki's eyes meet his and I see a sudden light of recognition.
You knew!
I'm sorry,
You knew!
Mikolaj looks away from her and nods
I knew.
once.
How?
I stumbled on the report in a place I wasn't supposed to be.
He doesn't bother to suppress his bitter smile.
You and I are both much too eager to learn things we're not supposed to know.
Aki doesn't
After
respond.
that, I was assigned to Edgewater, to your case. I'm the only one who knows what you two are.
And what exactly are we?
Children unfairly robbed of a parent, adults thrust into a world without a lifeline, human beings.
Aki doesn't make any effort to hide the bitterness in her voice.
Why didn't you tell us?
I wasn't allowed to. They would have taken me away if I did. I didn't...
Gursky stops and runs his fingers through his hair as he searches for the right
I
words.
didn't like the thought of someone else watching you.
We still deserve to know! We could have kept it a secret! Why didn't you trust us?
Because... I don't know.
You had no right!
I had no choice.
No.
Naoki stands and faces Detective Gursky. His eyes are hardened.
You had a choice and you chose not to. Did you think you were protecting us? Did you think we'd feel better spending life thinking our mother died because of us?
But she didn't.
He hurt us!
Naoki lets out a scream and his face twists up in a mixture of fury and guilt.
He hurt us and we thought we deserved it.
His body shakes and he takes a deep breath to steady his voice.
I did nothing because I thought I deserved it.
Aki exhales slowly and looks Gursky in the eye.
Leave!
I can't let you stay here.
Gursky takes a step towards Aki, but Li Mei intercepts.
No.
Please, I can explain.
Now's really not the time. I stand beside Li Mei and look Gursky in the eyes. You're going to make it worse if you stay. Frustrated scowl. Detective Gursky turns and walks to the doorway. He pauses at the door and whispers under his breath.
It wasn't supposed to happen this way.
As soon as he shuts the door, Aki's hands relax. A series of red marks appear on the palm of her hand, perfectly matching the curve of her nails. Li Mei and I stand unmoving. Neither of us is sure what to say. I open my mouth, but no words come out. Should I even say anything at all? As if sharing the same mind, Aki and Naoki sink into the floor in a single motion. Aki wraps a comforting arm over Naoki's shoulder with a practiced ease. He mirrors the gesture, and the two sob quietly into each other's shoulders. In the harsh glare of the artificial lighting, they look more real and honest than I've ever seen them. The girl forced to grow up too soon, desperately trying to protect the innocence of a boy plagued by demons. The brother and sister lost in an ocean that with only the other to cling to. Something I understand. I kneel beside them and place my hand on each of their shoulders. Li Mei joins me and touches each of them gently on the back. You're not alone anymore. Neither responds, but they don't have to. We all understand. The four of us stay on the floor, silent but together. Broken but not alone. Oh man. The writers for this games are amazing. Oh, okay, so that was the twins' end for Yousei. I'm not really sure what to say at this point. This is the third time through this game. I don't know. Like I said, it's a great story. The graphics are great, and I cannot wait to see the true end, which we will be doing next time. So yeah, like, favorite, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Be sure to go check out the website for SakeVisual. They did an amazing job with this game. I cannot wait to try out more of their games. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.